Today, I want to do a little bit of wardrobe planning for 2026. I know it might feel a little bit early, but it's gonna sneak up on us. So usually the extent of my wardrobe planning is just checking in with myself every so often whenever I switch over my clothes with the changing seasons, just making sure that I still like what I have, still fit into what I have. Not too much beyond that, but going into this upcoming year, I want to dive a little bit deeper and just create a cheat sheet, a reference sheet for myself, and just give myself a little bit more focus when it comes to making my wardrobe more cohesive. Now, I'm not someone who thinks that you need to have a super defined aesthetic or style. You're allowed to have a variety of styles and things that you draw from. I think most people are going to have a little bit of eclecticism in their wardrobe. So even though I feel like my style's a bit eclectic and there's a lot that I draw from, I do want to work on having more of a cohesive core, at least to my wardrobe. Not everything's going to fit into that, but just so that when it comes to decluttering in the future or purchases that I make in the future, that I can line those up against my reference sheet, my cheat sheet, to see if the choices that I'm making support the core wardrobe that I'm building and are getting me in the direction that I want to go. There are, of course, still going to be some outliers, but they should remain just that, outliers. So today is part one. I am going to assess where I stand currently, make a list of all the things that I like, the things that I believe are my core style elements, and then from there, I'm going to take the cheat sheet that I create and assess what I currently have. We're not going to do any shopping or sewing right now. We're just going to see what we have, what we're working with, and make a plan to go from there. And if you're new here, hello, my name is Melody. I make videos about customizing your wardrobe, creating costumes, and generally just being a crafty woman. You can also find me getting up to the same nefarious activities over on Instagram. So to start with, I'm going to make myself a pretty simple reference sheet. Now I'm going to do two different things here. I'm first going to make literally a list, just written out in words. I want to identify for myself what are the core colors that I wear, what are the core styles that I draw from, silhouettes and garment types that I like, what are the textures, the patterns, fabric types that I like to wear the most. And I think it might also help to create a list of keywords that describe the overall feeling or the vibe that I want from my wardrobe. Now, I personally feel like I already have a good sense of what these are for myself, so I'm just going to be able to knock this out right here and list these out. If you don't feel like you already have a good sense of this, there are so many places you can start looking for your inspiration. You can just go look through your own wardrobe and see what jumps out to you, but if nothing does, if it's not clear just by looking at the clothes that you currently wear and like wearing, I want you to also go back through pictures of previous outfits and find the ones that you like the most. What jumps out to you about those? You can, of course, use Pinterest and outfits that you've saved there or on Instagram. Obviously, the problem there is that those are very idealized outfits, so they can definitely give you a sense of what you like, but they aren't always what's realistic to your life. But definitely use that as a resource if that helps, but not just your outfit Pinterest boards. Go through the boards of, I don't know, art that you have saved, music, interior design, general aesthetic boards. Talk to the people who know you best. What would they describe your personal style as? What would they describe as the colors or the prints that you wear the most? Also look at your favorite movies and TV shows. Do any of them have a style that you really like, even if it's not something that you can recreate? Same with any music that you listen to. And also look for inspiration in the natural world around you. What do you find the most inspiring in nature? What seasons? What colors out in the natural world? Like, I love moss. I love a really soft green moss. So that's gonna go in this list somewhere. Maybe it's the fall leaves, maybe it's the early blossoms in the spring. Maybe it's the way the sunlight hits the tops of the trees at a certain point of the day, or driving to work early in the winter mornings and there's just that little dusting of frost over all the fields. Whatever it is, look for those things. It might not come to you immediately, it might take a couple of weeks, but there is so much inspiration already within you and in the world around you. If you just start paying attention to it, just start jotting it down. Make a little notes list in your phone, write it down on a scrap of paper, whatever works for you. Again, I think for a lot of people, going through your Pinterest boards, but not only your clothing Pinterest board, you're gonna find a lot of that there if you're already saving stuff online in a place like Pinterest or Instagram or wherever you save stuff like that. So that is something I cannot do for you because, like I said, I feel like I already have a good sense of those things that I like. So today I'm just distilling them down into a list and putting them all in one place. The first part of my cheat sheet, I have created a little chart for myself, and at the top of the chart are my core colors. I think this is the most visually obvious part of a cohesive wardrobe, is whether or not the colors go together. When I open my wardrobe, for the most part, they do. Now you can use, if you like the seasonal color analysis system, you can use that as your basis to create your color palette at the top of your cheat sheet. Mine is pretty reflective of my palette as a soft autumn, supposedly a soft autumn. I think that's my best fit, but that is not how I gathered my color palette. I made this list up based on just knowing what I like to wear the most. So number one being black. Even though I'm not supposed to wear it as a soft autumn, I like wearing black, not a super harsh black, but I like to wear it. It's easy to style. I feel very good in it. So you know what? I'm gonna keep wearing it. Similarly, I also love to wear off-white. Now, a super bright stark white I don't feel good in, and then if it leans a little bit too warm and is getting into like cream territory, I don't feel as good in that as well. And then I just love my earth tones, okay? I love a good shade of brown. I love like a rusty orangish brown as well. Tan is fine. If we get a little bit too light and get too close to beige, I don't like that. So darker, warmer browns. And then of course I love olive green. Olive green is a neutral for me. I love it. I feel fantastic in it. And then next to that, I have a little palette of what I would consider more secondary or accent colors. So these are a bunch of muted pastels that typically are more prevalent in my spring and summer clothing. I'm not going to be wearing them too much going into the colder months, but in the fall and winter, I do love to incorporate some burgundy and occasionally navy blue. So as I mentioned, my color palette is pretty earthy, and then even with the accent colors, which typically only show up as accents or like a statement piece, even there, you don't see anything too bright. I'm not trying to recreate a particular seasonal color palette. This is just what I know that I like. And then from there, we're gonna jump into a few more categories. I'm gonna list out some styles that I like, which is where you can kind of start getting into the internet aesthetics of like the last 5 years, but it doesn't have to just be that. They are just searchable keywords though, which is helpful. So I'm gonna list out some styles that I like, then some silhouettes. So that's gonna be the shapes of the garments themselves, or if I have like a very specific type of item that I like. Keywords and vibe, now that could be similar to the internet aesthetics, but that I'm just looking for more vague descriptors. And then I'm gonna list out patterns as well as textures and fabric types. And I'm not looking for these lists to be exhaustive and list out every single thing in these categories that I like. It's just a cheat sheet. I want something that I can look at quickly and decide whether or not an item fits within my wardrobe. So within styles, let's see, let's list off a few just off the top of my head. I know that I like whimsy goth styles, and I also really like cottagecore, more of like a dark cottagecore, but I'm just gonna leave it as cottagecore for now. I also like late 60s into early 70s kind of style. That would also include 90s. I'm really digging the medieval revival right now, as well as like Ren Fair styles, maybe simplified for day-to-day life. Yeah, I can come back and add to this later. So moving on to basic silhouettes, long gathered skirts for sure, pinafore dresses, puff sleeves, and lantern sleeves. Sometimes bell sleeves, long dresses. I like stuff with a fitted waist as well. I usually like some kind of waist definition. I'm not trying to necessarily create like a full hourglass, but I like the femininity that brings to an outfit. Fitted bodice tops are nice as well. And then chemise-like layers, because it doesn't have to be a chemise. It's nice when it mimics one. All right, I think that's good for silhouette. That's a lot. Again, we're kind of just vomiting these ideas out, completely just word association, whatever comes to mind. So keywords and vibe. Again, this is where going through any like aesthetically based mood boards that you have on Pinterest is helpful. So I'm gonna say dark and moody, but also quite earthy, definitely feminine, and sometimes a little bit whimsical, but functional. I need my outfits to be functional. I think I've previously described that as simple, and I definitely appreciate simplicity in an outfit, especially for days when I'm just running errands and I don't want to be bothered with getting dressed up. But more than that, no matter how fantastical the outfit is, it has to be functional for what I'm doing that day. Especially as someone who is pretty busy and up and moving throughout the day, and I work with my hands a lot. I want something that can keep up with me going about my day, running through the woods, working in the garden, whatever I'm doing, or even just cleaning the house. I don't want to feel like I have to change out of my outfit because it's too pristine. I think this is a good place as well to consider how dressy on average your items are. I don't have too many occasions throughout the year when I really need to dress up or be formal at all. I really don't need fancy clothes. So that again leans into the functional element. And even though I like a more earthy, grounded feeling in my clothing, I think I also like elements of etherealness. Etherealness. Anyway, I know that kind of feels opposite. Either you're grounded or you're not. But I like a little bit of like, oh, she might just float away with the breeze in the occasional outfit. Okay, don't want to overthink it. I think that's good for this category for now. Let's move on to patterns. I know that I am obsessed with tartan. I also love gingham, especially in the summer. I also like dark florals, and I guess sometimes embroidery. I guess that would be more of an accent than a pattern, but I'm gonna put it with patterns. I think those are the big ones I can think of for now. I'm mentally scrolling through my wardrobe right now. I do wear a lot of solids. You know what, maybe I should just list solids. And then textures. I do definitely prefer natural fibers. I'm trying not to be so militant about whether or not something is polyester in my wardrobe, because some polyester feels better than others. Like, it's not all created equal. But texture-wise, I do prefer the feeling of natural fibers. Sometimes velvet, usually more as an accent or a statement piece. Corduroy for sure. I don't know what it's called, but a couple of my cardigans for the warmer months are like a loose crochet. I don't really know what I would call that, so I'm gonna just put loose crochet. I know what that means, and that's all that matters for this list, is that you know what it means, and when you reference it, it makes sense to you. I think that'll do for now. I don't want to overthink it. So that is my word-based list for my cheat sheet. And then from this list, I'm also gonna create a mood board for myself on a second page. I'm gonna make like a collage to print out and have a visual reference. I wanna create something that immediately evokes a particular mood or feeling that is like a quick reference. So I'm not gonna make you sit here while I do that. I'm gonna create my collage off camera and I will show it to you when I'm done. So here's the collage I put together. It's not the most perfect representation of my style, but I didn't want to spend an eternity making this. This is good enough for now, and again, it's just for me. As long as I can look at it and know what it's supposed to mean, then it's fine. I chose to go with mostly non-outfit photos, focusing more on creating an overall aesthetic and visual feeling, but you can make your collage whatever you want, so if you want to go with all outfit photos or none at all, that's completely up to you. And then once I print out my physical copies of my cheat sheet, we're gonna take them over to the wardrobe and we're just gonna do a quick run through. And after taking stock of what I have currently, where I'm at currently, I'm also going to make a list of the gaps in my wardrobe, the things that I want to fill in the upcoming year. All right, fast forward to a couple days from now and we're gonna go through the wardrobe. What is good, party people? I have my list printed out and my collage printed out. Unfortunately, my printer decided to make everything brighter than I was seeing it on my computer screen, and it's not like I had the brightness turned down really low or anything. So all of the colors on my collage, and then especially here on my list, look way brighter than they should be. So I could go in and tweak that and reprint it, but this is more just a reference to jog my own memory. I'm not submitting it to anybody else to use. If I were gonna give this to someone else to do wardrobe planning for me, then I would need it to be more accurate. So that's annoying, but anyway, I think we can still make it work. This is more of just a guide to make sure that I'm incrementally taking steps toward this ultimate vision. And at least this time around, I'm not really going to be dealing with my summer clothing. I have that packed away. I just feel like I have slightly different style preferences in the summer that might not quite line up with this mood board that I have here. So I'm considering just redoing this process in the summer, potentially making a second board for the warmer months, because I feel like I want to dress a little bit different in the summer. So I don't want to confuse myself and end up getting rid of things that come summertime I might actually want. I have that stuff put away for now. I have a few more summer things I need to put away as well. So we're going to do that today. But before we jump into looking at everything that is out for my fall and winter clothes, I do have something else we need to address. And that's my purgatory box. I've mentioned having a purgatory drawer previously, which I've moved into a bin that lives in the closet, which feels like a better space for it, where I've been putting items that I'm not sure about. But more specifically, for this particular bin, you might notice it's very bright. A couple months ago, I came across a video by Hannah Louise Poston, and she mentioned doing an experiment in the past where, to test if she truly wanted to dress more minimally, she took all of her more maximalist items and put them in a bin for like, I don't know, 6 months or however long. Not immediately decluttering and getting rid of them, but just taking them out of circulation to see if she missed them, to see if she had an easier time getting dressed without them. And I thought that was really smart and that I would borrow that idea. So that's what I've done with some of my most colorful items, especially if I'm kind of already on the fence about them. So we're gonna go through that first and see if these colorful items really do need to go. Post 2020, for at least a handful of years there, it was like, oh, you gotta get away from neutrals and basics and we need all the color. I think I've very much been guilted into feeling like I needed to adopt more color in my wardrobe, and I've given it an earnest try. I really have, and there's some colors that I do like, but there's many that I just don't need. I have plenty of color in my wardrobe, especially in the summer months, but a lot of it is just not bright. So we're gonna reduce some of the color. We're gonna reduce some of the color in my wardrobe, and we're gonna take a look at what's in here right now. So this is a small print floral orange puff sleeve top that is so cute. It does line up with the colors that I have in my secondary color list. Doesn't feel like something I would wear through the colder months, so I don't want to make a decision about it now. But this red shirt, I got this last fall. I think I wore it once or twice through the holiday season. There's a good bit that I like about it, but it's just so red. It's so bright. I don't want to keep this for like the 1 or 2 holiday outfits that I might wear, but don't have a guarantee that I would wear, you know? Here's a little purple cropped shirt that I really like. This is like one of my favorite colors. If I'm gonna wear a brighter color, it's probably gonna be this lavender. But the one time I did wear it, I felt like it looked weird on my boobs. There's only a couple ways I can think to style it that I just never ended up feeling that compelled to do. So this can go. I only ever end up using this around Halloween, but I like that. I do have a handful of Halloween things that I literally only wear in October, and I'm okay with that. Okay, so color-wise, this is fine. This color is lovely, but ultimately the function of this garment, this is more of like a going out top. Unless it's for karaoke, I don't really go out. And if I do go out, it's usually very casual. Yeah, this is just way too dressy, and I have plenty of other stuff that would work. I don't need this. I might keep this for fabric. Here's another one that I've been really on the fence about, but I think I probably do need to let go. I absolutely love this color. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty color. And I love the loose kind of open pattern of this knit, but it really is a bit too much of an outlier. Again, I'm not against having the occasional outlier or that random color that only pairs in a handful of ways, but this is very much an outlier. It's just a little bit too out there. Oh, it's so cute. It's so cute. And I like it a lot, but it just feels so far outside of everything else that I have. I think I need to relinquish this one. This is a skirt that I have very much loved and worn a lot. I love the colors and the patterns. In the summer, I really love pink and orange together. It's just that this summer, I didn't end up really reaching for it. So I'm gonna put this with fabric, with like my bin of stuff to alter or repurpose for fabric, because I love this print. I made these 2 very colorful tank tops over the summer. They are kind of outliers, but I think they're really cool, so I don't want to part with them. I'm getting rid of a couple colorful things. I don't need to get rid of all of the colorful things. Here's an outlier that I'm definitely not parting with. Again, I love this purple. I think it's so cute. I don't have a lot of occasions to wear this top, but when I do, I feel so cute. I just love it. I love it so much. And it's more of a strong, positive feeling than the periwinkle sweater. So this is staying. Like, listen, in another year or two, I might change my mind, but today is not that day. This does need to go with my summertime things though. My husband's gonna be really sad about this one. It's time to part with this little red dress. He loves this dress so much, and I've gotten a lot of good use out of it. It's just so little. I don't know, it's so little, and the shade of red is a bit brighter than I'd like, but I do want a red dress in my wardrobe. So that is gonna be the first thing on my wardrobe gaps list, and then this is gonna go in the giveaway pile. Do you like my cute little Halloween paper? That's my list. And I'm not gonna make my list super detailed right now. I'm just jotting down something to help me remember for later when we flesh things out and make a more detailed list. And then the last thing in this bin for now is this bright pink cardigan. I like this color so much. It's just so eye-catching and it makes me happy, but it's such an outlier and I really don't reach for it. I haven't missed it while it's been in this bin. Believe it or not, pink is my favorite color. I just don't wear it a lot. I think this one needs to go. Okay, so that's the purgatory bin. That's at least, what, 5, 6 items gone. So now let's turn our attention to the rest of the wardrobe where most stuff is gonna stay. This is not a huge declutter. This is just an assessment, a check-in. So yeah, let's see how the rest of my closet looks. And I also will be starting a new purgatory bin. Okay, let me move out my summer bin. Well, first of all, in this random pile that I have on this bin, I don't need this sweater. That's a very nice sweater, but I don't think it really feels like me. I got this at a clothing swap. It's a nice sweater. I wore it a couple times, but I don't think it really feels like me, so I'm not going to keep it. My Halloween shirts can go back in storage until next October. Listen, if you love to wear your Halloween stuff all year round and like to scoff at the normies who don't, you know, good for you. Here's your tiny trophy. I'm putting mine away. Okay? It just feels more exciting to wear it in the appropriate season. So I got my DIY jack-o'-lantern sweater. And then this one though, this is like a little jack-o'-lantern print button-up. I don't think I like this that much. I think I'm gonna get rid of this. And then also, as much as it pains me, I think I am gonna get rid of these green slacks. I want to love these, but they're not that comfortable and they don't do anything for my butt. They're just not that great, you know? I wanna like them. I wanna like them, but they're not that comfortable, so I don't reach for them. Therefore, I don't need them. The main point of going through that pile on top of my summer box was so that I can access my summer box so that I can put my summer things away. I'm gonna do that real quick and then we're gonna come back because I'm feeling really scattered.
A few moments later.
I actually only had like 3 summer tops I needed to put away because everything else I layer throughout the year, so I'm not sure that I want to put it away. Let's start on this sweater tower that I am constantly worried is gonna pull down this entire bar here. Anyway, starting at the bottom, this one's fine, this one's fine. Again, we have purple, but I really like purple, and it's a dusty purple. This I just got, but it fits too small and I missed the return window. So I think this is gonna go. I am on the fence about this one. I really like it. It's so funky, but it does feel like an outlier. Maybe I will put this in the purgatory bin and see if I miss it through the winter. I think I'm gonna do it. This is kind of a tough choice. So for most of these items, I really don't need to like hold up each single one to the list or the collage and be like, does it match? A lot of it's just gonna be a quick scan for like, okay, that's a good color and texture, or like I already know that I love and wear that. I'm not doing like a detailed analysis of each item. And also I'm kind of just making this up as I go. So like, here's another one that is gonna go in the purgatory bin. I don't like stuff with this heathered texture that much anymore, and I'm not big on gray, but this is good for just around the house. Yeah, we'll put it in the bin. We'll put it in the bin and see if I miss it. Another gray item. This is a cardigan I have had forever, probably since 2012. I don't know, every once in a blue moon, if I just need a cardigan and I don't have anything that really goes with what I'm wearing, I use this. But that doesn't necessarily mean I need to keep it. And then there's this cardigan that I have loved and worn a lot, but I don't find myself reaching for it as much anymore. But I don't know why. It definitely, like if you just look at the color and the style, this definitely fits with the collage. But for whatever reason, maybe our time together is coming to an end. I don't know, but I think I'm gonna put this in the purgatory bin as well and see how I feel about it come springtime. Okay, let's move on to the stuff hanging up. Again, I'm gonna just do like a really quick yes, no. So we got a lot of black. That's a yes. Yes, 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 yes. This one, okay. I really like the style of it, but I'm starting to feel like the color is a little bit more cream than I really like. I prefer more of an off-white and less of that yellow undertone, so I'm thinking about dyeing it, but I'm not positive that I want to do that. So purgatory bin. This does fit with my list and everything that I've outlined style-wise, and honestly the color is not so far off. I've worn it so much. I'm not positive that I want to alter it yet though. Here are two that probably won't stay in my wardrobe, at least for now. This is one of my favorites. Had it since college. The problem is right now it's too tight across the bust and I can't zip it up all the way in the back. I mean, that's fine for layering a sweater over it, but that fit issue does cause me to reach for it less than I normally would. So I think I'm actually just gonna put this with my sentimental stuff because I have other stuff in my wardrobe that kind of fulfills the same function as this. It's not completely a duplicate, but I don't really need it. I just love it a lot and I'm not willing to completely get rid of it. So it's gonna go with the sentimental things. And then this one, even though I literally just this year fixed the fit issue at the bust where it was gapping on the sides, it's too tight on my butt. So it rides up a lot and that drives me nuts. I don't know for sure that I'm wanting to get rid of it though for that reason. So I'm gonna, again, put this in the purgatory box because this is another item that does fit with a lot of the style factors that I've outlined. So I'm gonna put this in the purgatory box and hopefully I can make up my mind in 6 months. That's the song for the purgatory box now. Long black dress, heck yes. Long black dress, heck yes. Lacy black dress, maybe, probably not. It's so cute, but I probably don't need this. I got this as like just a cute dress in case I had some random semi-dressy event to go to or like a wedding or something and I didn't know what to wear and I just needed something nice and I haven't needed it. It does line up with my style though, but I don't need it. I have a lot of empty hangers right now, but that's good. That's good. So after taking a gander through everything that I have out right now, I feel like it's all pretty cohesive style-wise. Again, a few things that are a little bit outside of the main parameters. So for right now, this looks good. And then I've got a few items in the purgatory bin, which don't not align with my list. I'm just not sure that I need them or that I really want to wear them anymore, so I'm gonna put them aside and see if I miss them. Okay, so after going through my closet here and what I have out at the moment, at least for the winter, other gaps that I can identify. So we've got the red dress. I do have a couple long sleeve black dresses. I don't have a long black dress that is sleeveless that can work as a standalone or a pinafore. Put black dress. Although I would not be opposed to adding more long sleeve long black dresses because I like them a lot. I also do not have a plain black long skirt. I have one that I made a couple years ago that feels a bit more costumey and honestly doesn't fit that well. Something like this, but in black would be excellent. Another thing that definitely is not in my wardrobe currently that I have plans to make is corset tops. I have a bunch of stuff lined up to make those. And then also I think a black waistcoat would be good. I have a black sweater vest and I have plenty of black button downs or blouses for layering, but I don't have a black waistcoat or like a vest. It's funny how after all these years of trying to incorporate more color, what I'm finding is most of the gaps in my wardrobe are those basic pieces in black. Ain't that just the way? I then took a look through my drawers and accessories to see if there was anything in there that needed to go or be replaced, and found a few more items to add to my wardrobe gaps list. Most of these are things that are currently super worn out and I need to replace them. So now that I have established kind of the direction that I'm trying to go in, what my parameters are, made myself a little visual cue to remind myself where I'm trying to go, from here, I'm gonna take the list that I have made of the gaps in my wardrobe, and I'm gonna start actually making a plan and taking steps to fill those. So that's going to be part 2, which I will tackle, I'm thinking, in January. So there we're going to talk about potentially thrifting or otherwise sourcing those items secondhand if I'm able, if any of those things are going to end up being easier to just purchase new, as well as making plans for anything that I want to sew. Talking about sewing plans for the year for practical things for my wardrobe. If you made it all the way to the end of today's video, leave a fern emoji down in the comments. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you guys when I see ya. All right, goodbye.